My beautiful HVAC community. It is me, Mr. Robinson, aka the Test Man. And today I have an important announcement for you guys. I want to speak to you guys that have the experience. I want to speak to the guys that have been doing this for quite some time, maybe 5 years, 8 years, 10 years, 20 years, even 30 years. I want to talk to you guys because this is an important topic to have about the future and now the way this HVAC world is moving along. So real quick before we get into that, if y'all like the content that I bring, please like, it don't cost you a thing, and subscribe and follow me on any platform so y'all can get this information. And what we like to do here is Mr. Robinson, aka the Test Man, like to talk about everything in this beautiful world of HVAC. I've been doing this been a technician for over 25 years in the field, and I've been an educator and owning this lovely business to help people excel and evolve and go to the next level for the last 3 years. So getting back to what's on hand, what we're talking about, we want to discuss certain topics. I want to talk about how the manufacturers are changing, all these major HVAC manufacturers. We talking about Goodman. We talking about Train. We talking about everybody that's in this HVAC world and how the world is evolving. Let's talk about these new refrigerants that we have here. These things are changing. It's not like back in the day when you used to work on stuff. Nowadays we have the newer equipment. We have everything under the sun that's new in this HVAC community. We have new CC heat pumps, colder climate heat pumps that work in the Northeast region. When I was a technician back in my day, I'm like, what? I never heard of a thing. We only dealt with heat pumps in the Southeast, and everybody was like, oh, we can't deal with them in the northern areas because they have a colder climate and heat pumps will not work in that climate. But not anymore. Today is changing. These newer heat pumps don't have a defrost control board. They got an inverter board on there. You know what I'm saying? That converts AC to DC and is functional and send a signal to this is make that compressor more efficient. It knows it don't always have to switch the reverse valve on. It could go with the ambient temperature and know what the temperature is and switch and just cut the fan motor on to use the air around it that defrosts itself. Is very performance wise, like smart. It is extremely smart. We have apps now. We have the new systems that could pretty much troubleshoot and diagnose themselves at this moment. We have no refrigerants that are here now. We're talking about global warming potential refrigerants. Your R32 and your R454B, those refrigerants right there, the handling of that. So we have all these new things. And you think about it, from back in the day when you first started, none of this stuff really existed under the sun. We didn't have the newer digital gauges where they work much more efficiently than our old analog stuff. They work. You could set that bad boy, charge it, and it does everything for you. And you could be doing this and you could be doing that while it's working and doing things that you need to do to make your job more efficient and time consumption and make it a one-stop shop. So you're getting that your time management is improving and you're getting more jobs in, so that makes more revenue for the company or the business because you have this new equipment. What comes along with this new equipment? What comes along with this new equipment is a different generational technician. And what I like to call them are the knowledge technician. That's the word I'm using for them, and that's how I categorize them. Because I'm noticing with students that coming in, before they have any experience on the job or any training on a job, they're getting a 608. They're getting a low GWP certification. They're getting a green awareness. They want to know about Nate. They just knowledgeable. They like to know books. They like to read literature about the stuff. Everything HVAC, they wants to know. And when they get in this field, they're gonna flip some tables upside down. And I know a lot of y'all experienced techs out there. I'm not worried about them. I got the experience. They don't have the experience, but let's just be real. They could figure out their experience. With these newer systems, they could figure out things shortly. When we was in the field, we didn't have pro press. We had to learn to blaze in the unit. You didn't need a lot of knowledge for that. It was a skill. There was something that was experience. You had to know what to do to get that flame a certain way, to look at that, that line set, to know that's red enough for you to go ahead and put that blazing rod on there for the tape and just loop around in instants. They got pro press. They got a machine that could do that. So let's just be real. Let's cut that out. Let's cut the BS. They don't need all that extra experience, because the world evolution, they have newer equipment and newer tools where their experience kind of balances ways out, because they don't need the experience to learn certain things that we had to learn because we didn't have that stuff then. They have it now, so they don't have to blaze. They got units that could pretty much diagnose themselves, and they know what to do. They have new digital gauges that pretty much you just program it and go. They have the tools at their fingertips, so they only have to get a little experience in this game. The more knowledge they have, they're more resourceful. So you guys are going to be put to the pasture, and y'all going to be pushed out the door. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. And the only reason I say that, because these newer guys, they're educated and they're knowledgeable. They will go to OSHA on you. They will go to EPA on you. They will go to upper management on you if they don't feel safe in the environment. Let's talk about that. Let's have a real conversation, because it's not sticking to you guys. You're not hearing me. I have a passion for this. I built this company just for this reason, for you guys that love HVAC. So listen close to the new knowledge technician, because they're not like us. Like Kendra said, they're not like us. And there's not a problem with that, because these guys have the knowledge. And when you took your 608 years ago, I don't know, it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it don't expire. But one thing in that, when you got that certification, one thing the EPA told you, that you are responsible to further your education. You, not the owner, not the company you work for, you as the technician. And a lot of y'all think that y'all can't get y'all certification revoked or just get fined. Y'all think it's just, long as we don't vent refrigerant. That is not true. You can get fined for different things. You can get fined for not having the right safety data sheet with these new refrigerants. Like this is one right here. I believe this one right here is for the, this is R32 right here. Because I printed this out for a student of mine. He wanted to look over that. You could get fined for not having the proper logbooks. You could get fined for your guys not having the proper PPEs. You could get in trouble for putting your guys in harm's way, because the knowledgeable technicians, they know these things. They know this. They know what they need to have spark-free tools. A lot of y'all experienced technicians don't know that. They know that the equipment is newer, that they have to have equipment that is spark-free as well. Yes, that is a thing. They know the proper PPEs. They know they have to have a fire extinguisher on hand. They know what label goes on the condenser after they do an install. They know what the canister has to have is red band label on there for them to transport that with the DOT. But you can get fined for that right there as well. They know these things. The other day, I had a experienced technician. we go way back, very knowledgeable person. But he had a young man challenge him because they was working on a refrigerator, and it was a new refrigerator that happened to use R600A, which is a A3 refrigerant, not an A2, not a A2L, which is the two new refrigerants. We're talking about R32 and R454B. Those are A2Ls. They're on a lower spectrum. But this refrigerator happened to be a A3. So that knowledgeable technician didn't feel comfortable when his boss told him to manually defrost the refrigerator. Because he was telling the client, hey, I'm gonna unplug it, I'm gonna let it defrost. I'll be back at the end of the day to plug that up, because what you did when you just overpack your freezer, your freezer part, not the fresh food part, but the freezer itself, and you had too much food up in there, and you closed the ventilation. So you had the returns vent closed, and you had the airflow blocked. So that would cause this evaporator core to freeze up because of blockage. I'm going to remove all your food, and then we're going to defrost it, and you're going to be good to go. And that supervisor that called me told him, hey man, I told him to manually do that. It'd be quicker and more efficient for the client. And he was telling me it's a probability that could cause bodily harm to him, and it could explode. And I was like, he's right. When you use a heat gun with that heat being so close proximity with that evaporator core in that refrigerator, with the type of refrigerant that's in there, it's a possibility anything can happen. Yes, that's dangerous because it's an A3. It's on a higher spectrum of flammability property in that refrigerant. So it's flammable, right? And it's on a higher level of the flammability with that refrigerant. It's not a good idea to use a heat gun on it. But the knowledge technician knew that, and he challenged the experienced boss, because you guys are out here and y'all still just have y'all 608, and y'all been doing this 20, 30 years, 10 years, or whatever y'all doing, y'all not continuing y'all education, shame on you. Because these knowledgeable guys is going to eat y'all up once y'all get their experience. And I urge you to take a course, research. Don't follow everything on YouTube. Don't follow anything but the actual certification or these educational schools. Not even the thing, fact check the things that I'm saying. Do your research on the things that I'm saying. I don't know everything, but I have some classes that I've been to and I done passed and ace to know a thing or two, because I always continue to further my education. I don't just like to teach it and mentor. I like to educate myself. So I'm learning every day as I go. I could be wrong with certain things, but there's a lot of things that I know for a fact. And I know for a fact that you guys are going to get put out the game one way or another if y'all don't continue your education. And I don't want that, because you guys are the guys that we need in this field that we love the most in HVAC. We need y'all experienced technicians. We need y'all. But we also need y'all to be the knowledgeable technician. And for you guys that this don't apply to, kudos to you. You rock. Continue to be that hybrid technician that has the knowledge and the experience. Kudos to you. So on my last final closing statement, as I always say, put one foot forward, let's execute, let's evolve, and let's motivate, and let's be a knowledgeable, experienced, hybrid, the best technician there is and it has to offer in this HVAC world. Thank you.